Let me entertain you with a performance. I'm honored to bring a smile to so many ladies.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. So in this episode, we're going to talk about Fabrice, and he's kind of like, being forgotten in time, because there was a time when Fabrice was really good, especially in a guild battle. Because in 3 versus 3, again, that's a long forgotten, content mode, which is. I wish they bring it back, but we cannot, hope for something that probably, being scrapped because there are a lot of reasons. So, yeah, we're gonna take a look at how you can use Fabrice in the current content and probably in the future. Like he served a different kind of purpose compared to other kind of support esper. Because usually most of the time when you think about support esper, you will think of something that can prevent your allies from dying. And from the looks of Fabrice, he doesn't seem like a very thick esper, because support needs to being hard to kill themselves. Otherwise, if the support dies first before the DPS, then there's something wrong with your support. So let's take a look at his skill. The first one, Glorious Aura, attacks one enemy, damage 110% attack, quite alright, 10% below the benchmark, but he is not a DPS, so that doesn't matter. Grants recovery to the ally with the lowest HP percentage for 1 turn. So again, if your basic ability can be stacked, or if the value of spamming that ability is quite good, then as always, having this esper using Avatara will benefit you the most. So if you give Fabrice an Avatara, then every time he gets attacked, he has a chance to put recovery to his ally. And that is the only source of his healing. So in a sense, he is not to be considered a healer. He is a support buffer esper. And because of his nature like that, a lot of people think that he is a waste of slot. But if you think about it, then there are also some other esper who can heal a lot, but they don't have any buffs or protection to their allies. I'm talking about someone like Ahmed. So if you do use Ahmed, like in whether in PvP or in your other content, then Ahmed have a ton of heal. Like his heal is on the top, like rank 1 in the amount of healing he can give to his allies. If the allies is not having that much HP, because obviously if there are healers that use percentage HP as healing amount, then if you have a lot of tanky esper in your lineup, then that esper gonna give you the most healing. But Ahmed heals is dependent on his own HP, and he heals a lot. So that's why Ahmed got a disadvantage, because he is really good in healing. He doesn't have that much buff. So pairing someone like that with Fabrice is something that you can do to maximize Fabrice's usability. So I'm gonna talk about his buffs now. The second skill, Love Sonata, grants one ally AP plus 100%, also grants them attack up for 2 turns, and if you have him at Resonance 6, grants all other allies speed up for 1 turn. So remember this, attack up to 1 esper and speed up to everybody else. So the one guy who got the attack up will not receive the speed up, so take that in mind. So even though we all need attack up and speed up, for a comparable esper that can also do that is Sienna, giving attack up and speed up, although this one lasts for 3 turns and the cooldown is 4 turns. This one lasts only for 2 turns and 1 turn, but the cooldown is 3 turns. So this is kind of like the epic version of Sienna. So he kind of overshadowed by Sienna in a sense for attack up and speed up buffer. And that's why the best part about this skill is the 100% AP to one ally. This makes that ally straight up move. This is if you have played Summoner's Wars, this is the Garuda. like the one that can bring your allies to move really really fast. So hence, if you can reduce the cooldown, either you use Ocean set or you want to give him the Windwalker set and make him move really really fast, get him to spam his second ability, the ally that he aim for the second ability will also gonna feel as if he has FABRICE speed. So like for example, if you have someone like Brewster, usually you're gonna give him the slowest speed possible if you have Brewster at Resonance 2.
Don't get it.
So because he has the slowest speed in your lineup, if you bring FABRICE, then you can hope the AI aim for your Brewster and give him AP up, and on top of having pure DPS equipment, he also gonna move really really fast. So that's why FABRICE is really good in bringing slow Esper to speed. Now the third ability, Autumn Butterflies, grants invincibility to one ally for 1 turn and grants immunity to all allies for 2 turns. This is what you need from FABRICE, like the combination of attack up, speed up, and invincibility and immunity. Nobody else have this much buffs, And also one of the buff is invincibility. This is really really strong in protecting your Esper, your allies, and this skill only has 3 turns cooldown. So every 3 turns you will be able to protect your allies from dying for 1 turn, and obviously FABRICE is gonna have the fastest speed in your lineup. Like if it's not the fastest, then a very very fast speed, and so the Esper that is given the invincibility, before they even make their move, FABRICE will most likely already move for 2 turns. So by the time the Esper that he gives invincibility start making a move, they will be vulnerable for maybe around like 1 turn, and then your FABRICE will be already able to cast his third skill again. And so this is what a lot of players have overlooked, because the shield meta currently is very very strong, and on top of shield, like you also have like the golden buff immunity, like this is the moment when Sakura just came out, and then also healing, and then also damage mitigation, etc etc. There are a lot of ways to prevent your allies from dying. And so invincibility is being set aside. But a lot of times, if you haven't noticed yet, like if you have the enemy that have like Leora or Oli, invincibility usually get overlooked, but when you find it in the right timing, it's very very annoying, especially when the enemy doesn't have a Dispeller. And also talking about Dispeller, the reason why this is starting to become unpopular is because it is very easy to remove invincibility if the enemy have a lot of Dispeller. But then again, it depends on timing. If the enemy already used their third skill and second skill that can dispel your buffs, and then FABRICE gives invincibility to someone, although it's rarely happen because FABRICE is gonna move like really really fast, he will be able to retain the invincibility on his allies. And also the immunity lasts for 2 turns and the cooldown is 3 turns, so it's gonna be almost a permanent immunity coming from FABRICE. So if you need a permanent immunity, like obviously the obvious choice, the best one is gonna be Gabriel. Like immunity lasts for 3 turns and cooldown is 4 turns, and it also gives defense up and attack down in a single skill. But if that is a legendary Esper, but if you're talking about one Esper that can do many things, like this is kind of like a half Gabriel and half Sienna. So if you are limited in the number of slots you can fill up, and you need to bring both Sienna and Gabriel, then FABRICE is a really really good choice. And you can pair him up with someone like Ahmed, like I said, and there you go, you have a full package of support. Now, because he doesn't deal any damage and all of his skills are buffs, and he totally not reliant on his stats, so not bringing him to level 60 is already enough. Like he is enough sitting at level 50, unless you need him to survive for much longer. But level 50 is totally enough. Like you can just give him an equipment with high speed and high HP, and he will be able to survive quite well. And then, oh yeah, also talking about captain ability, he gives all of his allies resist by 30%, which is really good. Like a lot of players also overlook this, but when you fail to disable the enemy, then it is count as, you know, having less enemy aspect to think about. Like for example, if I bring a Pritzker for the sole purpose of preventing the enemy from moving, or let's say someone like Farah. Now Farah is really popular right now. If Farah goes ahead and attack you and failed to freeze you, then that's it. The whole purpose of bringing Farah is just went poof like a smoke, you know. So resist is really strong in PvP, and a lot of players who actually understand this manage to, you know, win a lot of battles just because the current meta of using, you know, dispel, debuff, and also disable will be blocked by the resist. Now talking about level 50 is enough. Now going to the resonance, I've already explained to you the resonance 6. It gives speed up to all allies other than the target for 1 turn, and his resonance only gives him more survivability. So resonance 2, when granting buffs, the Esper heals themselves, FABRICE, healing 2.5% maximum HP for each buff granted, up to 10% per turn. Although he wouldn't be able to give, like, you know, that much. Like this is depend on how many buffs he can give. Like, so for example, if you give 5 immunity to all of his allies, then he will heal 10% of his maximum HP. So that's why you need the maximum number here. Maybe this is to prevent us astral set to give him like insane amount of heal, but yeah, limitation is put there, don't know for what, but it still gives him a little bit of survivability. Now resonance 4, damage taken minus 18% before taking the first turn in combat. This also increases his survivability. Like he's kind of like very squishy for a support Esper, but his skill is really good, especially this one, like the giving someone else AP plus 100%. Sometimes this is unexpected. Like, you know, another Esper that can do that is also what is it, this one, Abigail. So Abigail is also able to give one ally AP 100%, and so yeah, like if you have ever used Abigail, like if you do need this, then this is insanely good, because Abigail can have even more buffs than FABRICE. Like this is the legendary version of FABRICE. But in terms of the cooldown, like this one have 7 turns cooldown, while FABRICE have 3 turns cooldown. Where is FABRICE?
I'll get it next time.
Yeah, FABRICE have 3 turns cooldown. So yeah, it depends on how you want to use it. Like if you do need this ability a lot of times, then FABRICE is your choice. Like usually you can play around with this in boss fight, you know, because in the boss fight you're gonna need to bring 15 Espers. So if you have already bring Abigail and you need this ability on another team, then bring FABRICE, and FABRICE will make you move like, you know, really fast, like a lot more times than Abigail, although he not gonna protect his allies better than Abigail. But now you have 2 teams that have this ability, so that's the thing that can make him still useful. And also in Desolate Lands, you know, in Desolate Lands, if there comes another Esper that, you know, can make the most use of this thing, then FABRICE will again, you know, shine that content. Now going into the Ascension, all of his Ascension gives him survivability. This is good. HP, defense, resist HP, and this one is the one that gives the attack up to allies. So yeah, Ascension needed for his survivability. Rival Rune, the Windwalker, and the Avatara is already good. Like I've already explained why these sets are good. And then going to the Divinate, after casting Autumn Butterflies, his third skill, the bearer has a 100% chance of gaining 10% AP, making him move much faster. So he can rotate this 3 turns cooldown much faster too. And so he is that kind of support. Of course, it's kind of like situational when you do need him, but if you do remember your espers and there comes a time when you gonna need his ability again, then do remember Fabrice by that time. Yeah, attack up, speed up, and then invincibility and immunity, like 4 buffs in a single esper. So yeah, that's it for Fabrice. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.
They just don't get it. My love cannot be confined to a single person.